ॐ नमामि धन्वन्तरिं आदिदेवं सुरासुरैः वन्दितपादपद्मं लोके जरारुग्भयमृत्युनाशनं धातारमीशं विविधौषधीनां
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। My humble pranams to the whole traditions of gurus. Ayurveda the science of life. The first aim of Ayurveda is swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. Swastha means, in all terms, a healthy person physically, mentally, and intellectually. The first aim of Ayurveda is keeping this balance of physical, mental, and intellectual health. And the next part comes Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam. Vikara means roga. So it is the way of treatment based on three dosha principle, which are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And this system of Ayurveda is taught if it is only in the Gurukula system. For that also, a thorough basic knowledge of the Sanskrit language is inevitable, because almost all authentic texts are in Sanskrit. So there is a way of teaching of Sanskrit language. For that they call Kavya Vilpati, attain how a shloka is narrated and how the meaning can be obtained, and again how a prose is read and how the meaning can be obtained. So that is taught in the through kavyas. So that is the traditional way. And also understand each and every word, the nirukti is also important. For example, for vata, the word vata, va gati gandhanayo, that is the root of vata. Gati means the movement, gandhanam means to carry the smell. Without understanding this inner meaning, a student will not be able to understand what is vata. So the inner meaning lies in Sanskrit. So that should be taught. And then comes a bit of Vyakarana Shastra, and then Sankhya Shastra, on which this 5 element principle, Prithvi, earth, up, water, Tejaha, Agni or light energy, Vayu, the air, Akasha, the space. This Panchabhuta Siddhanta is the principle of 5 elements, is explained in Sankhya Darshana only. The basic text is Sankhya Karika, and the way of thought process is built upon Nyaya Shastra or Tarka Shastra, that is the Indian logic. So this can be taught properly through Gurukula system only. If it is taught in such a way, actually the Guru teaches the students sitting in front, and the transmission of knowledge from Guru to Shishya or the student is occurred. If that system is followed, then getting knowledge of Ayurveda in deep is very easy. The transmission of knowledge can be attained only through the Gurukula system. Let a day come, a glorious day come. Again, the Gurukula system revives, and that will be helpful for the flourishing of the science of life, Ayurveda. Namaskaram to all. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave.
Namaste. Sahanavavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam garvavahe tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Sadashiv samarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Whenever we hear the word Ayurveda, we always hear that it is science of life. But I say it is life itself. Why? Because Ayurveda, the beginning we don't know from where it has come, we have no idea. We say Brahma Smritva Ayusha Veda. Brahma has just remembered it. And when there was a problem on the earth, there was a conference on Himalayas with rishis, and they thought that Ayurveda has to be brought to earth for the benefit of every living creature. And thus they chosen the Bharadwaja to go and learn Ayurveda from Indra. So when he learned and came back, and it was for Sarva Bhuta Anukampaya, that means for the benefit of every living creature on this earth. And this is how Ayurveda has been brought. So a lot of people think that Ayurveda is just for humans, but no, it is not. There is the Ayurveda for Vriksha, that is trees. Ayurveda is for animals. Ayurveda is for elephants, for horses, for other domestic animals. Elephant Ayurveda or Hasti Ayurveda is even practiced today in Kerala. So there is a lot of descriptions which has been given or varieties of Ayurveda which has been practiced in the ancient time, because Ayurveda is for Sarva Bhuta Anukambhaya, for the benefit of every living creatures. We say that Ayurveda has its roots in Vedas, specifically Atharva Veda, and it is influenced by the Shastra, various darshanas and shastras. So once you learn the Ayurveda, you can you can understand other shastras as well. So with this deep-seated roots, it talks about health, and it talks specifically through three terminologies, which is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So we believe that there are three things, the great things, which can be decisive factor for your health or for your disease. Rogastu dosha vaishamyam, dosha samyam arogatha. If these doshas are in balance, you don't have any disease. But if they go out of balance, you can have any kind of disease. So these permutations and combinations can create anything, and that is why they are called as pillars of life, pillars of our existence. These pillars are supported by three sub-pillars, that is sleep, you should have a proper sleep, appropriate sleep. The food, we should have a proper food, and proper sex or controlled sex. So these three things, the sub-pillars supports the pillars, which is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. This time, National Ayurveda Day celebrations concentrates on poshan, that is the nourishment. Have you thought that why this type of discussion should come? In 100 years, the nutritional value of our food has declined significantly. There's various reasons to it. Probably humans has become more greedy. To an estimate that 40% of total produced food is wasted. There is law in certain countries where you cannot throw the food which is being unsold in the supermarkets. But can you imagine 40% of the food which is produced is just waste, and there are a lot of people who are getting malnourished or undernourished. They don't have food to eat. Why this type of disparity is there? And one side we are using genetically modified food, we are taking more and more crops, we are not allowing our land to heal, we are not using the natural seeds, we are modifying them to get more and more crop. The nutritional value of food is declined significantly. Similarly, in our fast life, we also have taken shortcuts to fill our stomach. So we just grab something and keep working. No, it is not. We have forgotten how to eat. We have forgotten how to cook. We have forgotten how to share. We have forgotten how to respect the food. It is a ritual. So in Ayurveda, when we talk about food alone, it is a vast description. It gives properties of various kinds of food. It tells you that how you can actually take care of the food, how you can cook the food, how you should eat. There are certain rules. For example, you should not eat too fast, you should not eat too slow, you should always give others, like your guests or elders or pets, all has to be satisfied before you have food. So there are a lot of regulations and rules which has been told. How much food you should eat, which kind of food you eat, how you should assess your food, everything has been told, because food is so important factor, not just the physical body, it also influences your mind. We say the gross part of the food becomes the body and the subtle parts becomes the mind. So if you take good food, your mind will be good. But if you take bad food, your mind will be bad. So with this understanding, this time National Ayurveda Day is on Ayurveda and Poshan, the nourishment. I go a step further, we say that it is not only for physical health, it is also for mental health as well. So come and learn Ayurveda in a good sense. You learn Ayurveda cooking, you learn Ayurveda understanding of food. And then when your mind is good, your physical body is good, your spiritual health will be good. And once you have a complete health, then only we can call you a healthy. We say there is a saying in Ayurvedam, Hita Ahar Vihar Sevi, the person who has proper food and proper activities, Samikshakari, who properly analyzes before taking certain actions, Vishveshu Saktaha, who is having a control on sense organs, Dataha, who does charity, Samaha, who treats everybody equal, Satyaparaha, who always speak truth, Kshamaman, who always forgive, Aptopasevi, who respects elder, Bhavatya Roga, such person will not get the disease. So this is very, very important message from Ayurveda. I hope everybody get benefited with it. Let us concentrate on this particular topic of poshan, and I pray to Almighty that everybody in this world should get the food. Everybody in this world, nobody should be hungry, nobody should sleep hungry. This is a very, very good prayer which I would like to say. Kale varshantu parjanyah bhumi sasya shahalni desho ayam shobhrahitah brahmana santu nirbhayah sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. That means, let kale varshantu parjanyah, there has to be a proper rains in my land. Bhumi sasya shahalni, let be full of grains, full of food in my land. Desho ayam shobhrahita, let be no distress in my land. Brahmana santu nirbhaya, the intellectuals are protected. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, let everybody be happy. Sarve santu niramaya, let everybody be disease free. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, let God look after everyone. Ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet, nobody should have any kind of sorrow. With these prayers, I would like to thank everyone. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Namaskaram. I am Vaidya Prasad, an Ayurvedic practitioner for the last 25 years. First of all, let me wish you all a very, very wonderful National Ayurveda Day on 2nd November this year. With the global conditions of healthcare and medical care is changing drastically with the onset of the new global pandemic COVID-19, I think there is a big shift in the overall understanding of what it is all about a healthy living, what it is all about taking proper treatment, and what it is all about prevention of diseases. Generally, we had a concept that the infectious diseases are coming under control. Of course, keeping certain areas of the world aside, and it is going to be the non-communicable diseases which is going to pose the highest or the biggest threat to mankind. But with the spread of COVID-19, I think things have become upside down again. Of course, the burden of the non-communicable diseases, they are continuing to exist. Meantime, the reality prevails that in the present way of addressing healthcare, disease management, I think we are so unsafe. And this has created a new surge of enquiries for better ways of health care and medical attention. Obviously, the Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda, which was earlier considered as an alternative to the mainstream Western medicine, is grabbing more attention, not as an alternative system of medicine, but as a holistic system of medicine, as a whole system medicine, which has got its own philosophy, its own approach, and its own application as far as healthy living is concerned. The concept of health is no more spinning around certain medicines, let it be a disease modifying agent, let it be an antibiotic or an anti-inflammatory. the concept of healthcare has got a wider and a broader and a deeper meaning these days. It starts from how you are going to live your days and nights, how you are interacting with your living environment, how perfectly you are synced with the nature around. And it also demands some sort of a serious inquiry into how do we connect ourselves with the nature, the mother nature. What are the vital connections between us and the mother nature? In that inquiry, I think Ayurveda is going to be the torchbearer. It opens up fresh areas of realizations, and it gives you better understanding about the importance of healthy living, which obviously demands some sort of a change in the entire behavior of human beings. This year, during this National Ayurveda Day, the campaign revolves around the tagline Ayurveda for Nutrition. Yes, it definitely conveys a very, very strong message, a fantastic message that life is not about hospitals and health is not about pills. It all starts with how do you take the world around, how do you take the nature around, how do you assimilate your nutrition from the periphery where you live. So I do hope that this year's National Ayurveda Day, with its motto Ayurveda for Nutrition, healthy nutrition, is going to make a big change in the way in which we all understand, assimilate and practice healthy living. Best wishes. Thank you.
Namaste. Let me extend warm greetings to people all over the world on the blessed occasion of Ayurveda Day, which coincides with Dhanvantari Jayanti, or the birthday of Bhagavan Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari emerged during the churning of the Milky Ocean, holding the pot of the nectar of immortality in his hand. The Milky Ocean is but the field of our own mind, where we churn the good and bad experiences that life brings to us. Vishnu is the all-pervading consciousness that effortlessly sustains our existence, ever present in the depths of our own being. When the emotional turbulences of our mind are subdued, we awaken in a higher consciousness, actualizing internal and external harmony. This is swasthya. Swast means thyate iti swastaha, or being established in oneself, the ultimate state of health and well-being, the very purpose of human life according to Ayurveda. Dhanvantari Jayanti symbolizes this inner victory, the cultivation of health intelligence, and the cultivation of higher health that is the birthright of all living forms in this universe. The world is yet to be completely released from the grip of a horrific pandemic. The pandemic is not a punishment from nature. It is the result of our own thoughtless actions. And the question is whether we are willing to learn from our experiences. The entire future of humankind dangles tantalizingly on crucial decisions that we will make at this juncture. Ayurveda is first and foremost nature-centered medicine. Ayurveda reminds us that if nature is not balanced and in harmony, then it is next to impossible for humanity to discover health in a sustainable manner. The much talked about person-centered approach of Ayurveda assumes relevance only in the broader framework of a nature-centered approach. Ayurveda also reminds us that we have to take the responsibility of health in our hands. Dhanvantari has to be born in our minds. Dhanvantari represents the health intelligence that is dormant in all of us. Dhanusha arinam anto yena krita sa dhanvantarihi. Dhanu is our body, and anta means end, ari means enemy, the inner enemies. So Dhanvantari represents the awakening of our inner consciousness that does away with the inner enemies of emotional turbulence in our own mind. So let us all pray on this Ayurveda day that Dhanvantari will awaken in all of us and usher in a new era of healthy living. Let me chant a mantra from the Yajurveda that conveys the message most relevant for Ayurveda day. Tat samyor avrani mahe, gatum yajnaya, gatum yajnapataye, daivi swastirastuna, swastir manushebhya, urdhvam jigadu bheshajam, shamno astu dvipade, sham chatushpade, om shanti shanti shanti. We seek that higher auspiciousness that bestows us peace from sorrows, present and future. We seek the growth of the great yajna of life and the patron of all life in this universe. May the grace of the gods be showered upon us. May there be well-being for the entire humankind. May the medicinal plants flourish and grow upwards. May good come unto us from two-legged creatures and from four-legged creatures. May there be peace, peace, peace in all three realms of human existence. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Namaste, Vanakkam, and greetings to all. Many wishes on this wonderful World Ayurveda Day to all the seekers, practitioners, and propagators of this wonderful science that we call Ayurveda. When we look at the word Ayurveda, it has been most commonly translated to being the science of life. But when you look deeper into its meaning, the word Ayurveda actually means the science behind life. And essentially, Ayurveda, it doesn't merely deal with the body and health as the only prime focus, but rather it describes the entire physics that govern the principles of this universe, the biophysics and the geophysics. Such an advanced science is what we are talking of right now. And for the past few decades, this wonderful science has been labeled as pseudoscience and later on as meta-science. But now we are entering an era where it has been recognized as quantum science. With the minds and the tools that exist in this era, in this age, I truly believe that it's not just Ayurveda that is bound for a revolution, but it is Ayurveda that will bring a revolution in the field of science. And with that, many of my wishes once again on this wonderful World Ayurveda Day. Thank you.